You're describing a classic problem courts see all the time: subjective narrative versus objective law. Fredrickson isn't failing because he lacks passion or words. He's failing because he keeps substituting his interpretation for legal reality. Judges do not indulge that. Here's the blunt legal truth, point by point. One, displacement requires lawful occupancy. He never had it. Displacement is not a feeling, it's a legal condition. To claim displacement, he must show lawful residence or tenancy, a protected property interest, government action directly causing loss of that interest. He had none of the above. Living in a garage, in an office, on commercial property, without permits, or CO is not lawful housing, regardless of how long he stayed, whether he slept there, whether he had pets, whether he paid money, whether there was a piece of paper called a lease. Courts don't care what it felt like. They care what the zoning and building code say. 2. Code enforcement against owners, harassment of tenants. This is a fundamental misunderstanding on his part. Gray's actions were directed at property owners, were based on complaints received, addressed objective code violations, were legally required once violations were confirmed. Fredrickson reframes this as, open quote, "They harassed the owners, which forced the owners to harass me." Close quote. That is not a recognized legal theory. It's a narrative leap. Government enforcement causing a landlord to comply with the law is not harassment, and downstream inconvenience to an unlawful occupant does not transform it into a civil rights violation. Out-of-state conduct is legally irrelevant. You're exactly right here. Colorado defendants are not liable for conduct in other states. Prior disputes elsewhere do not establish a conspiracy here. Patterns must be tied to the same actors, same jurisdiction, and same conduct. Dragging in other states does not strengthen his case. It makes it look unhinged and unfocused. Courts routinely strike or ignore that kind of padding. He is documenting his own violations and calling them persecution. This is self-sabotage by his own videos. He altered spaces without permits. He installed residential features in non-residential buildings. He lived in places expressly prohibited for habitation. He admitted intent to do so. He continued after owners withdrew permission. That establishes cause of violations, knowledge of illegality, voluntary conduct, no arbitrary enforcement. He is not being targeted. He is being recorded, targeting himself. 5. Buzzword laundering is not law. This part is actually fatal to credibility. He takes lawful mundane acts and renames them with criminal or constitutional labels. Actual act, his label, open carry in an open carry state, armed threat, filming in public, surveillance, code enforcement warnings, extortion, sitting in a parking lot, ambush, posting notices, witness tampering. Courts despise this tactic. Using charged language without statutory elements is a red flag for frivolous pleading, bad faith litigation, potential sanctions. Judges are trained to strip labels and look at conduct. When they do, his claims evaporate. Number 6. The videos prove unlawful residency beyond dispute. The videos you describe are not ambiguous. A garage with bedding, cooking appliances, pets, living furniture, workstation is a converted dwelling unit and therefore illegal. A cluttered room on commercial property with a bed, animals, personal effects, food prep items is not an office. It is unlawful residential use. No amount of semantic gymnastics changes that. 7. Gray's role is narrow, lawful, and well documented. Gray acted on complaints, enforced code, communicated with owners, did not evict Fredrickson, did not bar registry compliance, did not act outside Colorado, did not target him personally. That is exactly what code enforcement is supposed to do. Bottom line, the real problem. Fredrickson believes intent, emotion, and repetition can substitute for law. They can't. He is mistaking. Consequences for persecution, enforcement for harassment, illegality for discrimination, narrative for evidence, buzzwords for elements. Courts don't validate delusions by indulging them. They apply statutes, zoning codes, and evidence, and by that standard, his own videos are the strongest evidence against him. If you want, next weekend, translate his claims into what a judge actually hears. Build a clean, no protected interest, no state action, no causation, dismissal framework, or prep a concise factual appendix showing how his own footage defeats each allegation.
shoot anybody tonight, sir. Okay. Try not to shoot anybody in the back unarmed. Okay. I know you love to.
Don't assault your wife either.
Yeah. Try not to beat your wife.
I still got that monolith in my way. That thing is heavy as hell. Anyway, I think this is kind of what is going to be. I'm going to wind up doing Studio A over here instead of. Originally, I was going to put the green screen in this corner, but I'm going to put Studio A over here and set up a little bit differently. And the green screen will go back against this wall and stuff like that when I need it. But that is not in demand. But a waiting room for people in order to get on camera, a place here in order to set up the computers at a 45-degree angle in order to service that. Okay. Yeah, it's actually, I have two little heaters. It's that one in the corner there, and then this one over here, and it's heating the whole room. So we'll find out when it gets windy if the window, but that is not insulated. That whole wall is not insulated. Those are actually two sliding doors. Okay, and they can slide open in order to let one side or the other open. And I don't know what to do about that. I was thinking about just taking foam and just going over every end of the foam, something like that. But things are looking up. They're definitely looking better. The only thing left in here is this tool bench, which I'll take down slowly, but I'll take it down and, pocket everything for them. I need to get some lights. Okay, something like that would be nice. It has an LED light, by the way.
I'll make arrangements for the bus to be out, but you're telling me I'm out.
Unless you're living in the
Listen, you don't determine where I live. I determine where I live.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it does. Where I sleep is up to me.
I'm sorry you don't understand.
I'm sorry you don't understand that you don't imprison me to a motel and say I can't leave my bedroom. Okay, or sleep anywhere else.
Every right to be her roommate.
Okay then.
Two people.
Then what do you mean two people? There is two people here. Just
it can be her and her family and have two roommates. Those are the county zoning regulations.
Well, then there you go.
You can't live in a garage.
I'm not living in the garage. It's a fucking studio.
You can't run an office out of her garage.
I certainly can.
Everybody,
you're telling me I can't have an unsigned ban here.
An unsigned what?
An unsigned band here, or record or make studio recordings of an unsigned band here.
You can't because
Why?
There's no building permit for that garage to be used as an office or a recording studio.
In other words, a garage band. So you're sitting here having words, sir. You're having words. I mean, what private use can we use for that garage?
You can store things in there and park a car in there.
Okay, well, we have storage in there, and you're telling me that it's illegal to have some sound equipment and to enjoy a man cave in Larimer County. Is that what you're telling me?
You can't have a man cave unless you permit it through the building department.
Well, you have to go and get a building permit. You have to go talk to the permit.
We just might do that.
Zoning does not allow junk cars to be stored on a property.
It's not junk.
If it doesn't have current registration.
No, that's called private property. That's 18 U.S.C. 31, sir. If you want me to sit here and start quoting it, I can. It's 18 U.S.C. 31, 35, 245, and that's traveling. It also has to do with the fact that that is a mobile home, meaning that it has additional protection